Oh, hey there. We gotta build the bottom of a door for a 57 Chevy 210 wagon. Why, you ask? Well, because this one's awfully holy. And we're gonna do that by starting with a piece of cardboard. We're gonna do that by starting with 5 pieces of cardboard all taped together. So we can make a cardboard aided design. Then we'll take our cardboard aided design and we'll trace it over onto a piece of metal. And well, why don't I buy a whole bottom of a door, you ask? Well, I don't like spending money. We don't all have a bunch of money just to blow on freaking body panels, do we? With that being said, I mean, we can all make patch panels in our afternoon and save a bunch of money. So let's get started. I had to tape a bunch of them together on this one because I didn't have a piece of cardboard big enough to start with. I got these little magnets my brother bought when we were doing his Jeep. So I want about 3 inches hanging over. This has a flange that bends over and it'd usually be a door skin, but I'm gonna bend this all in one piece. And what we gotta do is we gotta bend a little channel on here because, well, the rubber gasket for the door seal sits on here and it's what holds everything in to seal the door shut. And this door doesn't look all that bad till you really get looking at it. It's really soft through here and we'd have to do a patch here. We'd have to do a patch in here. But by the time we're done, what I'm trying to say is I'd have to patch it all. We'll do an extra piece right here because, well, that one bends around. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna make it as simple as possible and hopefully make it in just a couple pieces. And we're gonna start by making one big piece. We'll put a couple flanges on it and we'll do some bending and some measuring and some mathematical stuff. And what I'm trying to tell you is I'm gonna put a bunch of lines on this and we're gonna go bend it up. So after you got your piece on there, you're just gonna trace it out. And I'll sand the door down more, and I don't know if I'll actually cut it up this high. We'll find out exactly how much hidden rust is on there. Ooh, that line's crooked. But what you really want to trace is the back side so you can get all your curves right. Shh, quiet, I'm concentrating. So this side's gonna be a little trickier because, well, there's no freaking corner here. So we'll do the best we can. And then we'll just try to connect the dots. I find it easier to make a little template with all your bends, and then you can take that and trace it onto your bigger piece. But at least when you go over to the break, you know which sides you have to break and approximately how far you have to break them. And look, you just take it and you trace them over here. Put your marks on this side. Big thing is remembering what side you need to break what piece on. So I know we don't all have a break. But listen, you can do this with a 2x4 and a couple clamps and stuff on a countertop. You can make your own brake with some angle iron. There's lots of YouTube videos out there. I made my own brake with angle iron when I was younger, and it worked phenomenal. I've also used 2x4s and just screwed them together and broke it in the middle. Now we have to flip it over and get our marks for the other side. What I'm saying is if you think outside the box, there's a way to do it. And once you do it a couple times, it just gets easier and easier. Gotta remember to add about a ½ inch over here for where it bends around the lip of the door. Gotta trick the eye and make it as good as we can, right? It ain't gotta be perfect. Just as good as we can make it. The better you can make your CAD design fit, the better your piece is gonna fit. Better your piece fits, the better your outcome will be. I don't know. I just need to I need to follow that along. I don't want to bend my metal up. You gotta be perfect. Yeah, look at it. I said it ain't gotta be perfect, and we did it perfect. No, that ain't perfect at all, but it'll be fine. Yup. We'll just trim our corner up where we think we need it. Good thing is it's cardboard, so if we get it all done and we cut too much away, it's way easier to fix this than it is to fix a piece of metal. Although, I mean, if you cut your metal too small, you can weld that. No, it's not the same. I know I got quiet for a second. I'm freaking concentrating. Yeah, perfect. So your main thing when you're bending your stuff up, well, here's another reason we make a cardboard aided design, because, well, if this was our piece of metal and we were guessing which way to bend our bends, it would really suck if we cut this all out and then bent it wrong. So with that being said, you really got to think about what bend to put in it first. Because if you get the wrong bend in it, then you're not going to be able to go back and unbend it. I mean, you can, but it ain't going to be right. I don't want to hit the wrong spot. I hope that was the one we wanted. And then I think we will flip it over and get our next one, which my brake ain't gonna let it go to my exact mark, so that's fine. That's fine, it'll be okay. It must have been okay. Oh, I got my little template here. Whoop. Well, all them nice marks I put on there are all wrong because I can't get the metal any further than that. But we did the other door, right? So it must be fine. Let's... Now we got nice crisp bends. Well, we got one more to put in it. And I think the way we did that is the way we got to do our metal, because I think we're going to be able to get all our bends that way. Okay, one more. This is the harder one because technically this bend, well, I mean, obviously the cardboard's easy, but this bend has to do a full bend. Like, it's got to go all the way back around and pinch back to itself, and, well, this thing don't exactly let you do that. Let's go see if it fits. Well, the top don't really matter. That's the easier part. Down here is the spot that's we had to check. Look at that. That's gonna look freaking awesome. So what we got here is this is where gasket will sit. Oh, come over to the side. See how it sits on that little lip? So that'll follow it around. We'll massage that spot and the gasket will run down here. And then when you close the door, it'll pinch it all together and hopefully seal it. At least what I'm telling myself. So these doors would actually be 2 pieces. Well, I don't know, maybe 30 pieces. But you got an inside skin skeleton and then you got your skin. And they pinch around on the edge. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it look all good, right? So when it's all done, this will be pinched around. So on the side, it'll look, here, I'll show you. So we built this door on a previous episode. And look, it's got the pinch all the way down. And look, it's got it all the way to here. But it disappears under here because we made it all in one piece. Drilled a couple new holes and we put our gasket back on. So when you close it, the gasket still has the little flange to sit on. So that's the intention. We'll replace the gaskets most likely after the car's painted. We're just using them so we can get a tight fit. So that's your update. I gotta get back to massaging. Well, now all we got to do is take our design and trace it out on a nice piece of metal. Simple as that. Well, okay, it's not that simple. We'll trace it and then we'll cut it out and then we'll put some more bends on it and we'll trim up our corners here and retrace it and give ourselves some more lines. But this part's rather simple. It's like kindergarten, arts and crafts. Kindergarten, is that when we learned how to trace? I don't know. We have our cardboard all bunched up now, so make sure you stretch it out the best you can. We want the best mark we can get. And we'll mark all of our bends on it afterwards. Figured I should get a straighter line than the cardboard. And well, this looks straighter. All right, we'll get that cut out and then we'll mark all our other marks up and yay! So I'm using a pair of double cuts, electric shears, whatever you want to call them. You can use whatever you want. You can also buy a cheap set at Harbor Freight or whatever them other cheaper stores are. I have a cheaper pair, it works awesome, but I also have a nice one that works awesome. I'm going to use this because, well, then I don't have to spend money on a cutting wheel. And it's not as noisy, and well, I have one. So that's what I'm doing. You can use a cutoff wheel with a grinder if that's what you can use tin snips if that's what you have. This stuff's rather thick and I don't feel it killing my forearms. It works better if you hang the metal off the table Or you put some boards down so the thing's not hitting itself on the table. I was hoping I could just, never mind. Jeez. Live action. Well, I guess it's not live. Well, it is live. I'm recording it live. Ouch. Hold on. I want to make sure I cut the line as straight as possible. Tracing the cardboard works good, but it also works okay to just go over your line and, you know, tighten it up a little bit. Thank you. Well, look at that. We have our piece sort of maybe started. So I'm just going to cut the other spots with a pair of snips, but I've always cut like this with my snips, you know, this way. And well, look at how your fingers would fit like. So, like I said, this is the way I've always cut. Well, I was watching something the other day and they said you're supposed to cut this way. Upside down like this, and you're supposed to watch your metal here. Which, I don't like the way your hands would hold the... What about, I feel like your finger's supposed to go... I don't know, I just wanted to share what I saw, and I've been meaning to try to cut this way, upside down. Well, I feel like it's upside down. Maybe I've been cutting my whole life upside down. But I'm not going to do it on this piece. I'm just gonna cut this piece because, well, this is our door piece and we don't want to take a chance of turning the wrong way and cutting the wrong piece. And yeah, I probably wouldn't do that, but I still don't want to. So I decided I wanted to add a little extra over here because I had a little extra metal, and when you bend over your flange, you're going to lose a little bit of material. So that was my thinking. If it's too much metal, I can cut it off, but I'd rather have a little extra than not enough because, well, it's harder to add metal on than... It's harder to add metal on than cut it off. My green snips, these are old snips, but man, my green snips, you can tell I use the reds way more. The green's cut way nicer. Damn camera's in my way all the time. It's alright. Okay, we'll show up how thick this stuff is. Pretty nice. It works, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Alright, to the other side. I think... Back up. Freaking my bubble. Always in my bubble. I don't have a... I think we're going to redesign this corner just slightly. Because why... I don't know what I have going on there, but we don't need a jag. We just need to go straight. Yep. That's way easier to cut. Let's see here. Oop, no. Okay, we'll use the reds. Don't worry, use both hands if it gets too hard. It's not being girly. You guys are in my way. It's so hard cameraing sometimes. Not only are you trying to move the camera around so it makes it longer to do anything, but the dang thing's always in my bubble. We'll get a hammer and we'll flatten our edges back out, and we'll draw some more marks on it. So, just like almost every panel on a vehicle, they're never flat. See what I mean? Watch it rock back and forth. So with that being said, if we put this on there, like this, it's going to try to make our door straighter, and it's not going to have that nice round curvature to it. So my roller is way too small. I love this thing and it would help us a lot, but unfortunately our piece is way too big. So I came up with a solution. I got this old 4-inch round or 3-inch round. I don't know. Does it really matter how round it is? No, probably not. 3-inch round pipe. And I put it in this vise thing here with a 2x4 on the bottom. And this stuff's freaking thick. I don't know how thick it is. I got to get me one of them gauges. Oh man, let's make sure we put the bend on the right side. Okay, yep. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put pressure on both sides here, and hopefully I can give her a little bend. Even a little bit will be better than nothing. Okay, let me get that reclamped down. So I had to step back and redesign it for a minute. I won't lie, sometimes the funnest thing is figuring out how to make it work. Like, how are you gonna bend this piece of metal? How are you gonna put the roundness in it? How are you gonna make it fit the door? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that's where I have some of my most fun. I don't want a lot, but we need a little bit. Hopefully we're doing the right thing. And if we're not, well, at least we tried. Sometimes you gotta think outside the box. Or inside the box. I don't know. Think that did anything? I feel like we're barely moving this. I just want to move it up a little bit and put all the round in one spot. You think this is doing anything, or are we just wasting our time? Well, we need a little curvature in her. So if we don't have none in her, well then it's not gonna look right. So I got an old torch tank. Well, I guess it's not old, it works. I just don't use it. I've been thinking about emptying it and welding like a bar on there, because then it's rounder, it'd be easier. I don't know if we're actually, I don't know if I'm actually making it round or not. Woo! Are we actually doing anything? Okay, it's hard to see on camera, but now that that's got a little roundness to it, we didn't need a lot, but we needed something. I don't know if it'll show up or not, but either way, it don't rock like it did before. Now we got to get it clipped to our thing and get one more measurement. Well, we're going to get some more marks is what we're going to do. I know we got it on our piece of cardboard, but it doesn't hurt to double check, you know. You could call it good if you want, but you could also just go around and redraw your line one last time. Remember, it don't hurt to triple check all your marks. You really only got one shot. I mean, you can do it 10 times if you want, but who wants to do that? So this one wants to be raised up a little bit, which is fine with me. I'm not gonna argue with it. That little tiny bit ain't gonna hurt us. So here's where it gets a little more serious because, well, if we bend this wrong, we got to start over, and I don't want to start over. So I think we started with our second line in. I think that's what we did on the other side, or on the cardboard. Then again, cardboard, you know, cardboard's much more flexible and persuasive. I don't know big words. Stop it. All right. The other thing is, I don't want to bend it more than we need it. I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna have to put the freaking thing on it. Hold on. This thing don't like thick metal like that. I got a bar to go down here, but we're not gonna be able to use it on the rest of the panel, so. Oh, she don't like this stuff. Well, I hope that was right. Then we have to flip it over, I think. See, this is where it gets a little tricky because you can't get them in as far as they're supposed to go. Is what it is. Worst case comes, we'll redraw it. Yeah, that looks fine. Now I think we gotta flip it one more time. Oh, I hope we did this right. That flange is a little bigger than factory, but I can't make it no smaller. Well, I'm sure we could if we keep thinking about it. Dang it. My little finger brake don't like this thick stuff. It's trying to slip out of its spot. Oh, son of a gun. Wow, what a workout. I don't know. Ready? Man, that's some thick stuff. All right. So now that we have it bent that far, we can no longer go no further because, well, it don't allow us to. So what I would usually do is just take this and flip it around. And I would hold it in there like this. And then I just clamp it down. But the problem I'm running into is I'm using a thicker gauge metal, and that finger brake, it'll bend this thick gauge metal. But when you got a, hold on, 3.5 foot piece of it, well, she don't like to bend it. So with that being said, I'm having issues squeezing this last little bit down. Because, well, that one's flat, see it? So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my grinder and I'm just gonna run it in here, up and down, like this. And I'm just gonna shave the metal a little bit thinner. That way it allows me to fold it over. So that's your update, that's what I'm doing. Before I do all that, I'm gonna try to help this corner down just a little bit. My big thing here is I worked so hard on making this piece so nice and not all dented up. I really don't want to just go dent the heck out of it and smash that over with a hammer. That don't sound good to me, because then we're going to have a bunch of little dents down here. And yeah, we could fill it, but why did we spend all that time freaking bending up a nice piece of metal to put a bunch of dents in it? This ain't the time or place for that. So let's try to think of a few other freaking resources before we go smashing it with a hammer. Hey, did you know I don't actually own a body hammer? Like, I've never bought one of them hammer and dolly sets. So I use a sheet metal hammer most of the time. Is it good? No. And I watched the other body men on YouTube, and they tell you really should get a body hammer because it don't leave little indents and grooves on the metal. So I think I'll be investing in that soon. Don't forget to put your safety squints on. Safety first. We don't want to go a lot. We're not trying to make it real thin. We're just trying to take a little bit off. Now we'll try this again. Hopefully this time I can squeeze it down. Careful using your belly. This stuff's sharp. Oh, it's working. Oh, man. We're probably tweaking our brake out a little bit, but look at that. We freaking squished her down. All right, enough tooting my own horn. I didn't know if I was gonna get that without putting a cut in it. Yeah, that's what we wanted. Cool. Let's see what she looks like on our piece. Probably not right, and I think somehow we gotta get some more rounds in her. Oh yeah, we pinched it over so now it won't fit all the way up. Okay. So, unfortunately, we didn't give this quite enough bend, but we weren't sure how much we needed. I'm gonna use 2 pairs of seamers. That way, hopefully every, 4 inches, I don't get a little whoopee. Maybe I'll have a little whoopee every 8 inches. The other key to bending metal is to bend a little bit. Don't go, say you need a freaking big old bend on it. Don't, I mean, if it's a small piece, it's one thing, but if it's a big piece like this, don't just go bend that all at once. Otherwise, you're gonna get little whoopies all the way down it. You do a little bit at a time and work your way all the way down. You could clamp 2 pieces of angle on this and bend it all at once still. And then work your way back. So I got it marked out, I think approximately where I need it cut. Look at, I was sanding it a little bit. Right there's another rust hole. And there's a little bit of filler right there, but we're gonna ignore that. That's perfectly fine, and we'll fill that little rust hole. Well, hopefully our piece will just cover that little filler up right there. It's just a little guy. I'm gonna get this cut off of here. I drew my line down here. It took me a few minutes to decide how I wanted to do it, but I think I'm gonna cut it up in here because look, it's all rusty in there anyways. And then we'll drop down here. So here's the thing. There's different ways to do this stuff. You can butt weld it, which I'm gonna do here. So when I do that, both pieces of metal are gonna touch each other like that. Okay? And then there's other ways to do it, and you can lap weld stuff. It's way easier most of the time to do a lap weld. Let me find a scrap piece of metal, I'll show you. Clean my table off. All right, look. That would be butt welding. So that's nice, but it's way easier to burn through. When you got new metal, it's not bad at all. But when you're welding to like, old pitted metal, well, it's really easy to burn through. So you can lap weld it, and then you just lay it over top. You got less of a chance of burning through, and in my experience, it's way easier. But then you got to put more filler on. So what I'm trying to say is you got to decide how you want to do it. To be honest with you, usually it depends on how I feel. Will depend on how I want to do it. And it'll also depend on where the spot is. So with that being said, I'm going to butt weld it here like this. Yeah. Because I don't want to have to put a whole bunch of filler on the front. But down here, can you see my 2 lines? Hold on, I found my flashlight. I freaking lost this thing for a week. And then I watched last week's video, and it was right where I freaking said it. Yeah, you'll have to go watch the video again. And when you hear me last use the flashlight, I turn it off and I set it down, and that's where it sat for a whole week, and I couldn't find it. Either way, I got 2 lines on this. I'm leaving that 1/4 inch there. I'm gonna lap weld it there, because you're not going to see it. It's on the bottom of the door. It won't be a big deal. So it'll go like this. And then I'll just weld it, grind it, and put a little extra filler on it. Why am I doing that? Well, look how thin it is down here. It's going to be way easier. So if I go butt welding that, it's going to be easier is what I'm telling you. So you do what you want to do. What do they say? There's 100 different ways to skin a cat. Why do they say that? That's awfully mean. I think about them old sayings all the time, and they always make me scratch my head. There's other ones, but okay, back to work. So we got her all cut out. We have her roughed in. I sanded it with, well, I used a drill and a wire wheel and a wire brush, and I just scraped and scraped, and then I sprayed that OSFO or whatever, rust conversion, whatever it is. I'm not sure, but it helps with the rust coming back. And then I used the wire brush again to scrub it in there real deep. Here's the thing. The door don't only go this way, but it slightly goes this way. Not a lot, but a little bit in the center. So what we're gonna try is, thank you again for the shrinker stretcher. Greatly appreciate it. We're gonna try to shrink it a little bit. And what it does is it takes the metal and it pinches it and sort of pushes it together. I don't know if it's gonna work well with this because this is thicker metal, but I ran it through it real quick and it looks like we're starting to get a tiny gap. We don't need a lot, so I'm gonna run it through this thing a couple more times and hopefully it's just slightly pushing that metal together. Not enough to screw up our edge, but you can see the marks on it. You can see that it's slightly got little divots. So hopefully, I don't know if it'll work because I've never played with these before. It'll give us a little bit of roll, and then, I don't know, we'll take this and we'll run it up and down the edge of the table or something until it looks like it's a little bit more round. And then, well, I guess, and then we'll let this dry and we'll spray some paint in there the best we can before we seal it all up. Then we'll weld it in. Yeah, I think. Nope. We're gonna do all that. And then we're gonna figure out how to bend this nice little curvature here because, well, I can't put that one in a brake. That thing's pretty cool. It definitely worked. So I didn't quite think it was gonna because look at all the bends in this. Every time you put a bend in a piece of metal, it gets stronger. So hold on. All right, you remember before you could barely see the gap? They said we weren't looking for much, but now you can see through there. You don't believe me? See, that's all we needed. It's just a little bit, so it's a little round. So that should match the door better, I think, I hope. I don't know. I can't wait to use those things to build like this piece. I think that's gonna help us out a lot there. Real quick, Sam, thank you. Sam's the one that donated the shrinker stretchers. Much appreciated. And we got a couple new stickers. Check it out. We actually have a rat fink on the wall now. And keep on trucking. Thank you, Mitchell. I hope I'm saying that right, buddy. And Stu, thank you for the donation, bud. Hey, man, I greatly appreciate anything anybody sends in, any donations people give. It really helps the channel out. And obviously, I try to put it right back into the channel. And I appreciate y'all watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, and all that other fun stuff. So here's what I'm going to do. Oh yeah, I had a brain fart and last night I just wanted to get everything painted so it was dry this morning, and well, I painted right over the line that we were supposed to bend. So what I did is I just went and cut the old rusty piece off the other one and we lined it up the best we could real quick, and I scribed in a new line. So that's where we're gonna fold it over, hem it, whatever you want to call it. Another thing for some of y'all, I don't do this all the time, but I like to do this when I'm doing like doors and stuff like that. So just a little 1/2 inch strip of metal, and I'm going to tack it on like this. One, I feel like it helps keep the structure going. Oh, I gave it a little round because I got this on there and it's supposed to be up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'll tack it in the center. And then I'll pull this side up and I'll tack it. Then, when I roll this piece over, you know how we were talking about butt welding and lap welding and stuff? Then, when I roll this piece over, it'll have an extra piece of metal in there. One, it's going to help me not burn through this thin old crap. And two, it's going to help the whole warpage thing. So it's like you got to go slow when you're welding, especially body panels. I mean, this stuff matters too, but if you get a little warpage in here, it's not as crazy because, like I said, every bend adds structure. And who's going to see the bottom of the door? But we definitely don't want the whole freaking door to go wee-hoo, because that would be really, really, really bad. So that's enough of me talking. Like I said, I'm going to tack weld this 50-50. And then I'll lay my other piece on. And I'm going to get to burning that thing in because, well, we still have a few other pieces to finish making. We got to make the back side. Look how rusty that is. Yeah. So we need that whole back side piece. It's a little piece, but it's a lot of work. And then, well, this corner had nothing on it. So we have to design that whole freaking corner. That's your update. Oh, check out my fan. Yeah, it's got a stand. I really don't know why, but I keep trying to skip this dang step. So before I weld it on and make it harder, we need to turn this. Now I have, I don't know, 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of a flange that I laid out. This is what they got factory. She's a little bit fatter here, like 1/4 inch. But down here, well, she's just a little itty bitty flange. So with that being said, I'm going to try to turn what I got marked out, and if I don't like it, then we'll trim it down, or if it gives us issues, then we'll trim it down. Now, I've done it in the past with a chisel, and I probably should. We should probably just go along the line and hit it with a little chisel. And I've also done it with pliers. So, I'm going to attempt it today with one of these. I think we're going to start with I'd like the yellow pair, but I should probably start with something a little... Nope, this will be fine. And all I'm going to do is... I'm going to go to my mark, and just like with the hand seamers, just a little bit at a time. I got a bead roller, and I would love to try this on the bead roller with a set of tipping dies, but I didn't buy any tipping dies. And it didn't come with it. I thought it would, so I don't get to try any of this yet. I just got the ones that put the beads in it. Oh, and I got a set of stepper dies. Those are pretty cool. We used that when we built the cab mount on the floor pan for the passenger side front. We gave it a little stepper down. I'll tell you what, a lot of the tools they're rather, cheap. It's not like they're a lot, a couple $100 a piece. Don't get me wrong, it adds up. But boy, they're awfully fun to play with. Like I said, just a little bit at a time and just work your way back. Maybe we'll end up with a bunch of creases in our metal and we'll have to figure something out then. Maybe it'll come out nice. We definitely don't want to screw our piece up now. We're this far along. See it trying to. Another thing we can do is we can notch this. We can put little notches in it and bend it. I'm gonna try it like this, but you can do it that way. You could also just cut this dang thing off and cut another piece and then just weld it along the seam. But I don't want to do it like that. Sometimes you gotta try different things too. Because maybe you don't like this way. Maybe there's a way that works easier for you. Stay right there. Unless you run away when I was just trying to grab a pair of seamers for the straight part. Alright, I'll put you on fast play while I finish going around this slowly. Well, this side came out freaking fabulous. This side didn't come out as nice as I was hoping. Like, it'll be fine. It's not round. But luckily, this freaking metal is way too thick, and it's definitely thicker than what we used on the back door. Wish that metal was freaking thick, but that was a lot easier to make that bend. With that being said, there's lots of extra metal, so hopefully we can just shave the little nipples down. If not, we'll figure it out when the time comes. I think it's fine. Watch, seeing as we put a flange back here, we're just gonna slide it right up over. Oh, that's freaking fabulous. Dropping my freaking vice grips. Oh, that's gonna hold it all together now. Ouch! Fabulous. And if you do it before you weld the whole thing up, you can just pop your little piece off that helped guide everything together. At least I feel like it helps a little bit. You can pop it off, or you can just weld it in there and spray some stuff on the inside of the door when you're all done. I've done both in the past. Today I felt like pulling it off. Try different things. You never know what you're gonna like. It's not perfect, but it's way better than it was, huh? So, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, you really should bolt it back on the car. That way you can see what all your corners are gonna look like, and you should see if everything lines up, and if you got the bottom in too far or not enough. Are we gonna do that? Nope. Why, you ask? Because I don't feel like bolting the door on the car, to unbolt it from the car, to put it back on the table, to finish welding it. So, with that being said, I'm just gonna wing it, and I'm gonna weld it all up, and I'm gonna cross my fingers, cross your fingers, and when we're all done, we'll bolt it on the car, and then we'll uncross our fingers, and we'll look at our gap. It probably won't be good, but have you looked at any of the gaps that are on this car? They're not very good anyways. Plus, who's gonna see it when I'm going by you at 55 miles an hour? Yeah, exactly, you're not gonna be able to see it. Your eyes ain't that good. So we gotta build a piece here, and we gotta cut this out and fix that. But I got the piece from the corner on the other side, and it's almost a perfect fit. It just needs a little bit of trimming. So with that being said, we'll just trim it down a little bit and see if she fits in there. Wow, that stuff freaking flings. It's perfect, no? Arm don't bend like that. Can you guys see what we're doing? Girls, government. So we're just making an inside piece because like I was saying before, oh, do you see that? Look at, we got the flange, it follows it up just like factory. It's the same way on the other side. I don't think we showed you after we got it all welded in here. Look at that, it pinched, see? We're sliding it behind the freaking seams that we put in. That's nice. Nice. I'm gonna try to give it a little, where's our marker? Yeah. It's just a big tracing game, that's all it really is. That's actually going to come out something like this, right? We'll have to build that afterwards. But it's in there. I'd like to make it pop up a little bit. How are we going to do that? We're going to put it in this roller. Well, it probably won't work because it's a small freaking piece. We'll try it though. Wonder if we can just roll it the opposite way. No, that did nothing. We could hit it with a hammer. We could also just use the pipe to bend it. You don't want a lot because too much it won't pinch in the thing. Perfect. Perfect. We need a sticker that says perfect. Nice. Perfect. And now I'll put a little pressure on it and I'll be able to weld that seam right there. Was that my face in your way the whole time? I'm sorry. And we'll have to make a little piece right here. That seems simple enough. And then we got to cut this out. And then we get to do the other side. The other side's funner. Oh, did I show you? I had to cut it. It's fine though. I didn't want to notch it like that. But, I mean, what are you going to do? I should have actually probably put a few more in. But look, I'll weld them up all the way up. And we'll grind that corner down so it's more round. And it'll be nice and it'll be fine. It'll be nothing to worry about. Alright, check it out. We got our little freaking swoopy-doo thing due for our gasket. Huh? What? Looks way better. I gotta grind it down some more, and I probably should weld some more. All I did here is I just tapped them in with the end of the hammer. That way they had the little divot in. And now we get to build this fun. Look at that. It's freaking gnarly in there. Either way, it's fixed. It's rust converted. You know, I won't lie. Spraying the stuff in the backside takes the longest. I'm going to spray in here when I'm all done with something, and then we'll put these covers. Well, I don't have these covers, so we'll make them on another episode. 2 doors have the covers, and 2 doors are missing the covers. Luckily, one front door has it, and one back door has it, so we could just, poof, we got a design. So, I did think ahead. I traced this out on this edge right here, but I got looking at it, it's a little too small. So, just gonna retrace this out here. Time out, time in. We'll keep that line there. Ain't gotta be perfect because it's gonna hide inside that seam. And we'll go something like this. Poof. Well, I guess that would work if we feel like cutting that. That's fine. That's a really, really bad line. That's fine. We'll cut it. We'll fix it when we cut it. I don't know. We'll get it. I don't know. We're overthinking it. Don't overthink it. Stuff takes a long time then. Don't do what I do. Don't use galvanized sheet metal. Why do you use galvanized sheet metal all the time? Because I used to do HVAC and I just bring home scrap pieces all the freaking time. And I mean, look. The door is open. I got an exhaust fan up there for anything that goes up high. I got a fan right there. And, you know, for the people that are like, oh, just grind the galvanized off. No, it don't work like that. You can take a layer off of it, but you don't take all of it off. That's not how it works. Step back. Always in my freaking bubble. We're running out of time. I don't know if we're going to be able to throw no mud on it this week. So many freaking patches. Did I tell you I found door? A door. It's listed as doors. For $400. Yeah, I got a little excited till I looked at the pictures. I'll try to remember to put pictures of them in the ad. Well, it's one door. I messaged the guy. It's just one door. $400 freaking dollars. And it was like 2 hours and 20 minutes from me. And I got zooming in on the pictures and it's all freaking rusty. I found a hood too. I think the hood was $500. So, and the hood was rusty too. Either way, our hood is really bad, but that'll be an episode by itself. What is going on here? I don't even want to get to the hood. That don't even sound exciting. I'm actually excited to do, yeah, I'm going to cut her down a little bit. I'm excited to do the firewall and the windshield cowl. That just seems like it's gonna be one of the fun ones. Freaking dangerous. Where are you guys see what I'm doing? You don't even know what I'm doing. Over here, down, yeah. Okay. Do y'all like these longer episodes like this of the body work and metal work, or would you rather shorter episodes? Put it in the comments. Huh. Got her stuck in there now. Hold on. It's just about perfect. So it wants to go this way, but I really want it to go the other way. Well, I guess that marks good. Look at it. Because we don't need all that extra metal inside the freaking thing. Why am I not cutting it right on that? That way if I shove that further in there, I don't want to... It's fine. Don't worry about it. Jeez. Ugh. Oh, nice. This is gonna be nice. Listen, when I run out of galvanized metal, then I'll go buy some non-galvanized metal, and we won't worry about all the chemicals and stuff that are in it. Oh, we almost got it. I like it. I got too many tools out. Oh yeah, where are you? Can you see? Huh? Okay. So I'll weld these little spots up here. It'll look fine when we're all done. And look, see the pinch seam for the door skin? Oh, it looks so freaking good on there. We could trim it back a little bit, but does it really matter? It's the inside of the door. It'll look fine. But it actually has it, so that makes it look even better in my opinion. All right, well that looks freaking awesome. Shove something under there to try to bring it up a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh, that's gonna be nice. Yes, it is. All right, I gotta weld that up and weld this up and this and this, and then I gotta grind the heck out of it. It's keeping so much grinding. Would you freaking look at that? Oh, it came out good. Look, I even redid the corner. What do you think? That looks way better. It might use a little bit more, but I mean, it's not all pretty and stuff down in there, but it's all in there and it's welded up and it's solid now and it's not all rusty. And what I'm trying to say is I'm pretty satisfied, especially for, you know, not being a body guy and just winging it. And hey, remember, when I tell you all I'm not a body guy, I'm trying to tell you is I don't do this for a living, so you can all do it too. So go get yourself a can of Bondo and some sandpaper and an old junk car. With that being said, I'm gonna cover all my welds with some fiberglass reinforced filler. It's thin, it's short strand. It's just to cover it up that way, all the pinholes, you know, this isn't a show car. It's not a SEMA, it's a SEMA. Look what I did, I got rid of the rust. Real quick before I forget, thank you, Reaper Creation, sent us a sticker. Dang, wall's filling up quick, ain't it? I wanna move these ones that hang down here because I don't wanna move my cabinets. But let me ask you this, do we go to the ceiling? Or do we just bring it down the wall? Who knows how many we'll get? The downfall about going on the ceiling is some of the stickers don't like to stick. Other ones stick great. I always wipe the wall down first before I put a new sticker on. But hey, appreciate it. P.O. box is in the description if any of y'all want to send a sticker or something for the wall. We appreciate it all. Oh, that's enough of me yip-yapping, and let me lay some of this on. That way the front half can dry. Well, you all know the drill by now. or if you don't and you're new to the channel, you don't want to really take advice from me because, like I'm telling you, I'm not a body guy. I'm just that kid that went to Walmart when he was young and bought a bunch of Bondo and I fixed up on my vehicle. Always mix up more than you want. It's better to put it on thick. You don't want to put little spots on, or I mean, you do whatever you want. And like I said, I'm not a body man, so I really don't know what I'm talking about. But over the years of doing this, I have learned that for the first coat, yeah, I'm just going to cover up my weld for the most part. But after we get done with the first coat and we go to put a final coat on this later on, I'll probably spread it from like here down. And then we'll block sand it out to make it as smooth as possible. Is that the right way? I don't know. I'm freaking telling y'all, I'm not a body man. I told you before, and I'll tell you again, add the fiberglass resin. This is the stuff you would use for like the matting and stuff. Either way, add it to your fiberglass reinforced filler. That way it makes it extra soupy and it's way easier to spread. And it gives you a few extra seconds to work with it. My ears just started ringing. Like really bad. Does that mean somebody's talking smack? Who cares? Let them talk whatever they want. That's probably way too much, but that's fine. Today's flavor of box is, well, I'm using the back side of the kitty box from last week. I did get a Folgers box, but it's got a sticker on that side, and well, it's small, and I want to mix up a lot. So with that being said, I might have mixed way too much of that stuff in here. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Yep, good. Well, that's a big pot. Look at it, just freaking, can you guys see it? Fiberglass filler usually don't settle out. This is just rolling out smooth. Why? Because we put so much of that other stuff in to make it smooth. That's why. We probably need a little extra hardener. Well, we don't need extra hardener. What it is that's too much. This is a big pile of filler. Oh, I should have mixed up 2 batches. They say not to flop it or something. I don't freaking know. Like I said, I'm not a body man. I watch lots of body people, which some will say they're not body men, but that's fine. Watch who you want. Y'all want action. What I'm trying to say is I gotta yap because otherwise it's just boring. You're just watching me spin up mud. That ain't fun. Update on Maxine. She's still in timeout. My Duramax square body that I built. No, she didn't do nothing wrong to be in timeout. I'm the one that broke her when I took her out and was hot rodding on her. But I don't feel like fixing her. So with that being said, she's still sitting in the same spot. It's fine. Don't you worry about it. It's my truck, not your truck. Yes, it's very sad. I miss driving my truck a lot, but what are you gonna do? So I like to just put it on there to get started. Make sure you put good pressure, because that way you have any of the imperfections, or we actually mixed up way too much. I wish we could flip the thing over and do the back side right now, but we can't. One side at a time. Make sure you push it down in there real good. That way if it gets any of the pinholes or anything like that, it's sort of, what you're really doing is you're trying to make your weld waterproof, I guess. I could be completely wrong with that. Dang it, I mixed up way too much. That's fine. We'll use it. We'll put it on there. I'd rather just put it on there and we'll take it back off. That's how I like to do it. Way too much on, and just take it back off and sand it. What I mean by that is put it on and sand it off. It'll be fine. I made it so soupy I can't even keep it on my putty knife. I guess it's not a bad thing, right? Should put more on. Remember, you don't want to play with it too long, because if you play with it too long, it's going to get hard. And we know what happens once it gets hard and you're still playing with it. Well, splat, and then you got a mess on your hands. So make sure you you get it on there, get it as smooth as possible, and get out of there before you know you have a problem. All right, we're gonna try this one more time. This is way too much. Ready? Nice and smooth. Come on, baby, nice and smooth. The smoother you put it on, the easier it's gonna be to sand off. Now you see, I'm still working with it. I swear to you, if we didn't put all that extra goop in there, this stuff would have been hard already. It don't take long for your filler to get hard. I don't want to keep playing with it, but I want. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just winging it. Starting to harden up now. So check it out. I freaking put the coat of fiberglass on, and then I put a quick coat of this stuff on. This is some cheaper body filler. Let me tell you here, you can buy cheaper body fill. Well, you all do what you want, but most of y'all watching this channel, you're like me, and you don't want to spend a bunch of money to, you know, maybe get your project back on the road. And we're just having fun trying to make a 57 look better again, right? Right. So with that being said, the cheap Bondo, in my preference or my experience, well, it's thick and it spreads really freaking hard, and oh, well, I'll put extra of that in it and it turns into glass. Tell you the truth, it starts laying out like a really expensive body filler. I'm happy with this. I could put another layer on because there's a couple little spots here and there, but I'm not going to. Why would I do that? It's the bottom of the door. The gasket covers a whole bunch of it. Like I said, all I did here was pound them in. I'm leaving them open. Boof, we need a spot for drainage. That way when it rains and the water does come in through the window over here, you know, the little bit that does get through, it needs a spot to drain. So, boof, it has a spot to drain. Eventually I'll also put a nick here, 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 and I got to go back and do it to that door because I never did it. So, that's your update on everything. Yeah, I'm going to use this. I love this stuff. It's 5-in-1 nozzle. Oh, this ain't the stuff we're using. Never mind. That's not what I'm using for this. Got ahead of myself. Gonna use this sandable primer. Yeah, I don't know. I bought it at the Walmart. It's like $5 a can. It works really good. Should you use it? I don't know. I'm using it. So far, I haven't had an issue with it. Okay, that's your update. I gotta get spraying. I'm running out of time this week. Well, before I flip it over and you'll never see it again, I figured I'd show you my handiwork. Is it perfect? No, but it's freaking fabulous. Look at that. It's got the freaking bends for the gaskets to ride on. I don't know. I'm pretty satisfied with it. I do have to drill some holes for the gasket to, woo! Dang, stop playing with stuff. For the gasket to clip in. Hopefully, eventually, we'll buy new gaskets when we get... Look at that floor pan. Ain't that so cool? What? It's got your name in it. Yeah, if you missed the dang episode, go watch it. So, hey, real quick, my brother's here working on the Jeep. Maybe soon here we'll have a Jeep episode. Maybe. I said maybe. Calm down, okay? I want to talk about something real quick. You have to decide how far you want to bring your project. Some vehicles... Well, they deserve to be fully restored. And those people will spend eternity and lots of money to restore their vehicles. Me, I just want to make it nicer and better and more solid and safer for my family. Like we've said before, this ain't a SEMA build. I mean, it'd be cool to eventually maybe build one, but I'm not there yet. As you can tell, this build, we are putting lots of metal in. We are bending up stuff. We're trying to do it okay, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with not doing it okay. As you all seen, we built the Elka Saturn suit. And while my brother's here, I want to show you something. This car's not welded together. This car's doesn't have fiberglass in it. This car was filled with Bondo. And the bed was made out of wood. And... well, my brother don't park undercover and it gets driven daily in the weather. And well, look, what did we build this? Like, that's freaking tape. Just red tape. Yeah, it's still holding up good. Bondoed the door jamb closed. Like, it ain't perfect. Stuff's cracking. But we did this thing, I actually think I spent $1. Bumper's still zip tied together. This whole fender was filled with freaking tape and Bondo. There ain't nothing but tape and Bondo in it. I mean, it's starting to pop here and there. But, oh yeah, and look at the wood floor that everybody said wouldn't last more than 2 days in the weather. Can you see? Water sits down there. Yep. What I'm trying to say is, you have to decide what level your project deserves or what you want to bring it to. We built that whole car. Well, I pretty much built 90% of that car by myself in a month in my free time. 1 month. With that being said, we got 6 months on and off on this already. So decide what level you want to restore yours to. Okay, with that being said, I'm done yapping and yipping and all that other stuff. Look at it. Looks so freaking good. Did I just give you whiplash? Probably. That's fine, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get the door flipped over and I wanna put a spreader coat on the front, sand it down, prime it, and we'll see what it looks like. It came out so good. So I just block sanded quick. I should throw a guide coat on, and what they mean by that is just spritz it real lightly with, well, you could use the primer. That stuff dries really fast. The only downfall is I'm not ready to do that. We'll do that when we got to block sand the whole car. That way we can just do the whole thing. Plus, as you know, we never fitted the door on, so technically we don't know if we have to cut or tweak anything out yet. Oh yeah, I just wanted to tell you all another thing about this primer. This stuff's like $5 a can, right? Because it's considered gray primer. Gray. They have black primer, but that stuff's like $7.50 a can. And they got white primer. but that stuff's also like $7.50 a can. Why is the gray? I don't know. I thought it was black, but I keep buying it. It keeps coming up that either way. Just so you know, if you do go to the Walmart and buy it, make sure you look at what color you're buying, because well, they charge a whole freaking couple dollars extra just because you want a different color. So like I said, I think this is gonna need some right here, just a little bit right here, like one more swoop, and then block sand it. But look at how rough. You see all these little dots? I don't know how well it'll show up on the camera, but just block sand in the green paint. Look at, oh man, she would have came a lot smoother. I'm not doing that. I don't know. I'm just yapping to yap. All right, hold on. Look at that. Oh man, it came out so good down there. Huh? Freaking awesome. We got to drill holes for the gasket. Let's get a quick coat of paint on here. Now, for your first coat, you don't want to go cover the whole thing. Just sort of dust it on there. And then for your second coat and third coat and fourth coat, just, you know, hit this Bondo spot, because this is just going to suck the freaking primer in. And after you get about 3-4 coats on the Bondo, then hit the whole thing again a couple times. This is just holding us over. Like I said, we have to sand this whole freaking car down when the time comes, and the time is not yet. When that time comes, you guys will watch. Well, we're far from there. There, I tell you to dust it on. What do? I go spray it heavy over there. That's fine. It's the corner. This will probably get all sanded off anyways. I think they call it a tack coat. I don't know how tack it actually is. All right, I'm gonna let that dry, and well, I'm gonna get a mask on because I don't like spraying without a mask. Real quick, before we check out the roughed in product, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for putting a half hour to an hour out of your time away every week just to come hang out with me. It truly does mean a lot to me, because we all know time is one of them things we cannot actually buy. So with that being said, let's check out the door. Thank you all. Greatly appreciate the support. And well, we got some fine tuning to do. Did you know, because I didn't, a Tri-5 door has like 72 freaking adjustments? Yeah, I didn't either. So this hinge and that hinge go up and down and in and out, but these also move a little bit too. So this door can go every which way but straight, if you know what I'm saying. So with that being said, look, we got the thing all drilled out, got the gasket back on there, and when we drilled the holes out, we stretched it a little bit. So look at, thing was all dried. There was like a 4-inch gap. So we just pulled it tighter each time we drilled a hole, and well, we made the old gasket work again. So with that being said, she's not hitting. She opens, she closes. It's a little tight right here, but this is all rotted, so we'll worry about that later. Now, we need to go up just a little bit right there. Look how big that gap is. And then it's tight there. It's not bad. It gets a little tight. And then we got a little whoopity-gappity here. I do need to go up a little bit. Hopefully we can go up just that little bit. I also noticed I never finished the bodywork here. So unfortunately, I know, I freaking heard you all. We should have put the door on before we finalized our welding. You know, we should have like just... And I didn't, because I didn't want to put the door on and off 32 times. But it's fine, because when we come here to fine tune, now For any of you that have followed this build since the beginning, you know when I first got this, the whole bottom of the fender was just shot out. I didn't actually plan to fix on this car originally, but we couldn't open and close the driver door because every time we did, it caught up on this fender, and that was the very first patch we made for it. That whole bottom, yeah, she ain't perfect, but she looks okay. With that being said, we still have to make the bottom fender mount, but the fender ain't perfect, you know what I mean? Look, nice and tight, okay. So these gaps on these cars are all over the place. I'm satisfied, it looks good. How many patches did we make? There was one big one, 2 for that corner right there, 3, 4, 4? Was it 4 patches? 1, 2, let's see here. We got the big one, count with me. 1, that's why I should do it when we mark them down. 2, we did do a little piece in here, but I don't know, we won't count that tiny piece. 3, and we made that one. Oh, and then we had to do that. So 5 altogether? That's what I'm marking down. I'm marking 5 freaking pieces down. That's so freaking cool. Oh, real quick, before you all get on me about the freaking gaps, listen, it's a 1957 Chevy. Do you think they cared about the gaps? We have not touched this side yet. Look at it. That's all the way in. It's kissing it right here. It's kissing it right there. It's almost kissing it right there. Wait. See how it's kissing it on the top? And then it gets wider. Wait a minute. And then it gets really wide, like I could freaking almost poke my pinky in there. And then it gets super tight again. So, and it freaking almost hangs below the rocker. So I guess we're actually a lot better than I thought we were. That's freaking awesome. Oh, let's mark our freaking patches down before we forget. Marker, 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 marker. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70 freaking patches on a 57 Chev. That's freaking awesome. Well, we got a lot more to go. All right, that's it. That's all the time I got this week. I appreciate every single one of you watching. Thank you. Thank you for commenting. And whoever goes and buys merch this week, we're going to throw you in a free jack stand sticker. So get on over there, squaremaxmerch.com. We appreciate all the support. Love y'all. Peace.